is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.
Good evening and welcome to SMNI. You're watching Business and Politics. I'm your host, Dante Klinka. Our guest tonight is architect Felino Palafox Jr., or as most people call him, June. He has also been called visionary, perhaps because of his creative presentations called Postcards from the Future. He founded his own firm, Palafox & Associates, the first Filipino architectural firm cited in the world's top 500 architectural firms of the World Architecture magazine. In 2006, Palafox & Associates held the distinction of being the only Southeast Asian firm in the top 100. Besides being an architect, our guest is also an urban planner, environmental planner, educator, author, philanthropist, and trusted thought leader, and advisor whose lifelong mission is to make a difference in people's lives and help create a better Philippines. Architect June Palafox is an active member of various local and international organizations, such as the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat, Urban Land Institute, American Planning Association, the American Institute of Architects, U.S. Green Building Council, Harvard Alumni Association, United Architects of the Philippines, Rotary International, National Real Estate, and the Philippine Institute of Environmental Planners, among others. Tonight, we will ask him about various urban development and design issues. We will start with, how can we elevate the standard of living in the Philippines through creative and sustainable design and planning? Architect June, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Architect June, if I may call you that, welcome to Business and Politics, and thank you for making time.
Yeah, thank you, Klink, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really have been wanting to be interviewed by you because you are forward-looking and I think visionary also.
The pleasure's mine. But talking about vision, you've come up with this Philippines 2050. It's even more ambitious than what we've been hearing from people. You know, the government has Ambition 2040, but you went 10 years farther than the government. What is Philippines 2050 all about? And what does it mean to people like us, ordinary people?
Yes. 2050, we have to start now.
Okay.
I'm fortunate to have been involved in the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. Thanks for Asian Development Bank for commissioning me, appointing me to help in the Philippine Development Plan. And thank you also to NEDA because they orchestrated, especially Secretary Balikasan. And I compared development planning elsewhere in the world, which I was part of, like Dubai, and also in the 70s. So I worked for government projects in the 70s to pay back my scholarship at UP.
Yeah.
And I was very fortunate to have been assigned as team leader for the World Bank funded Metro Plan Manila and the Manila Bay Region Strategic Plan, UNDP funded, and the National Physical Framework Plan.
Okay.
So it had already in my mind, and then when I was named hired by the rulers of Dubai, bring the desert town of Dubai into the first world in 15 years, design Dubai as if there's no oil, garden city, and so on. And the rulers of Dubai would tell us, the best in the world, and how many years Dubai can surpass. So and in the 70s planning, we were also long-term planning. And maybe because of our 3-year election, 6-year election, it's now short-term and opportunistic, no longer long-term and visionary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the major deliverables of Philippines 2050? Because the president was recently talking about the Philippines becoming a top 16 country, upper middle income country. But I was looking at your website. Your plan really is to make it even better and to make the Philippines a first world country.
Yeah. 2011, I was president of the Management Association of the Philippines.
Okay.
In my first inaugural speech, I mentioned it already.
Okay.
Philippines, number 16 economy in the world by 2050.
Okay.
According to Goldman Sachs and HSBC.
Okay.
And I said that time also, to achieve this, we must address more effectively our challenges.
Okay.
And I also explained that We used to be number 2 in Asia after Japan from the 1930s to 1970s.
Okay.
And anecdotal research tells me also that Asian countries voted Manila as the highest development potential, as a financial center.
That's surprising.
Yeah, surprising.
More so than Hong Kong and Singapore.
More so than Hong Kong, Singapore.
And then Tokyo, no?
Tokyo. And I heard that time, the contenders are Tokyo and Tehran.
Okay.
Xiao, Iran, they have so much money.
The oil, yeah.
Yeah. It can be done. And I've been saying also, even in my talks abroad, I've given talks in 20 countries with projects in 40 countries. When the opportunity to promote our country, I tell them, rotate the map of the world. The Philippines is in the center.
Mm-hmm.
It's no wonder we were the Asia-Pacific hub of Spanish Europe. 2 years the British, 50 years the Americans, maybe until
Right.
now, and 4 years the Japanese. So I said, every superpower country will always be interested in our islands. It's already a given. And we have so many first things in the world. We are number 1 in marine biodiversity.
Mm-hmm.
We are now number 1 in sailors, seamen.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I felt so bad with the oil spill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we are now number 1 in call centers. I'd like to believe we are number 1 in nurses. We're number 2 in geothermal energy, number 2 now in BPOs, close second to India. The third is very far behind. We have the 3rd or 5th longest coastline. In Dubai, they ran out of waterfront real estate. So they created the Palm Islands, excavated the desert for more waterfront real estate. Some countries go to war because they don't have waterfront, like Iraq invading Kuwait,
Right.
or now I think Russia invading Ukraine.
Right.
Maybe they want more seafront.
Right.
And we are number 4 in the world in shipbuilding, thanks to the Japanese and the Koreans. We're number 4 in the world in gold, number 5 in the world in all mineral resources. And I was told the value of our mineral resources, more than $3 trillion US dollars.
Okay.
And we are number 12 in human resources. And we have the demographic soft spot,
Okay.
25 years old.
Right.
And I
Very young.
see Korea, Japan, when they started to soar up, I think their median age was
Was
20,
also,
25 years old.
Yeah. So how do we put it all together? How do we harness that? Because you said earlier we have to start now. What exactly do we have to start now so that we realize this dream of yours of becoming a first world country, even better than the government's plan, I should say, of only becoming an upper middle income country by 2030 or 2040.
Yeah.
But what do we need to start with?
Yes, sir. Immediate action and short term is the 5-year Philippine Development Plan.
Okay.
I think not because
Which you took part of it, right? Yeah.
I think it's the first time that they got external consultants.
Okay.
Before it was all government,
All internal,
if
yeah.
I may call them technocrats.
Okay.
And I saw also working in that, there's very good, efficient people in government.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it. It was so inspiring, working in the NEDA offices.
Sure.
And also, all our projects from Ilocos Norte to Davao, even if you are told to 10-year plan, 9-year plan, we do the short-term, immediate action, short-term, medium-term, long-term, and visionary. We've
Okay.
done projects as well in the world, architectural. The clients would tell me, like, I design a hospital, university and 3 schools in Kathmandu after the big earthquake, designed them to last 40 generations, 1,000 years. After a big
Wow.
earthquake in Bam, Iran, we're asked to design the public school buildings, magnitude 10, earthquake that never happened. So our local government projects, provinces, and towns and cities, we go beyond the target milestone date of 9 years, 10 years. We go even up beyond to 2050. Like the governor in Ilocos Norte was in our office yesterday. I cajoled him, Matthew Marcos Manoto, Ilocos Norte should be, before 2050, a first world province. And you are almost 5 times the size of Singapore, Ilocos Norte. Philippines is 400 times the size of Singapore,
Right.
350 times Hong Kong, 8 times Taiwan, 3 times South Korea.
Right.
Mindanao is the size of South Korea. Singapore before was the size of Guimaras Island.
Right.
But due to reclamation, they became larger. Davao City, first world country by 2040. I mean, because we designed also the Metro Davao Urban Master Plan.
Right.
Metro Davao is 10 times Metro Manila, 9 times Singapore, 6 times Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And the Davao region had always been higher in regional GDP, if I may call it, than national average.
So where do we begin? Is the Philippine Development Plan, which you took part of, is that the right place to start? Because your website also calls for different conditions to realizing the plan, and
Yes,
two
sir.
among them was, visionary leadership,
Yes, sir.
with political will, and then the other one was good governance. And these two things have always been
Yes, sir.
problematic.
Yes, sir.
For the Philippines.
I've been sharing the leaders of Dubai.
Okay.
It's third generation leader now.
Okay.
Visionary leadership, with strong political will, good appreciation of good urban planning, maybe
Okay.
urban planning and national development planning.
Okay.
Good appreciation, good design, like architecture, engineering,
Okay.
excellent management.
Okay.
And I think for us also, good citizenship.
Okay.
And then that's one. Then I also shared yesterday with artificial intelligence, we can address the challenges of climate change, corruption, criminality, inequality, infrastructure, insurgency, and maybe parenthesis, if I may, incompetence. 3 C's and 4 I's.
No, I've always been very fond of your presentations, and I've seen it 2 or 3 times. This postcards from the future.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
related to your vision,
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
2050? Because can you talk about that for
Yeah,
a
postcard
minute?
for-
Because for people who haven't had the benefit of seeing it, you show renderings
Yes, sir.
of what places might look like, into the future, and then they're quite fascinating.
Yes, sir. I started that in Dubai in
Okay.
77. I call them snapshots of the future
Okay.
because I know they would be implemented.
Okay.
In the
Okay.
Philippines, I call them postcards from the future.
Okay.
Hoping future generations will implement them, if not our generation.
Okay.
So we take pictures of the uglification of the cities.
Okay.
Then we come out with the architectural, urban design perspectives, how they should look like
Right.
postcards. And some cities follow us, like Davao City. We talk about the visually obtrusive overhead wires.
Yes.
Mayor Sara did. And
Put them
now-
on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mayor Baste now, they put them underground. They forced the utility companies to put them underground.
Yeah.
1977, I introduced that in Dubai. No
Okay.
overhead wires.
All right.
Because in Dubai, I was asked to get architectural control, visual corridors of all
Yeah.
road transport corridors. And it can be done here.
What struck me with those presentations was how much greenery you had in those renderings, and
Yes.
how much space was devoted to foot traffic and bicycles. Why did you do it that way? What's so important about those
Yeah.
things?
Yes, sir, because walking and biking are environment-friendly active transport.
Okay.
So what we do there, it's also our advocacy
Okay.
that those who have less in wheels should have more in roads.
Okay.
So I call it road transport corridor, not road right of way,
Right.
because walking, biking part of transportation. 1/3 for trees and landscaping. Because it takes 10 trees to recover the oxygen
I see.
after the carbon monoxide per car. So 1/3 for people, pedestrians and bicycles, and 1/3 for the moving traffic lane. And like EDSA, if it has 500,000 vehicles a day, EDSA should have at least 5 million trees. Ayala Avenue, I think 70,000 vehicles a day. It should have 700,000 trees.
I think that would be a much better. I think more bearable city to live in if we have that. Architect, we'll just have to take a quick break. You're watching Business and Politics. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Business and Politics. We're talking to Architect Felino Palafox. Sir, let me circle back to the question, where do we start? Because, what's coming up pretty soon is, of course, the President's second State of the Nation address, where he lays out his plans for the country. So, is that are we starting in the right place? What do you think, from what you've been hearing about? And what's good, what's missing?
Yeah. What's good about it is he's criticized for the foreign trips.
Okay.
I think the Philippines the past decades is not a good brand.
Okay.
Not a good brand.
So he's working on
He's
that.
working the
Yeah.
brand Philippines.
Okay.
Which, and then Another one is infrastructure.
Yes.
I think 5% of our GDP. And before President Duterte, I think it was 1% and so
Yeah,
on.
it's very low, yeah.
And then what else? And he gets ideas.
Yes.
People he gets ideas. And my conversation with him even before the election was, let's revisit the plans of his father, Marcos Sr.
And we were talking earlier, you were part of those plans.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, they were scrapped
Yeah.
because of political events.
Yeah, I work on government projects to pay back my scholarship from University of the Philippines,
I see.
funded by United Nations Development Program, and
Okay.
that time Department of Public Works, Transportation, and Communications, only
Yeah.
one department, and University of the Philippines. So I have to work for government at least 2 years, and I was so fortunate that my bosses were visionary also.
Yeah.
The Bit Consultancy of Public Works, Transportation, and Communication, OD Corpus of UP, and also work on the first export processing zone.
Yeah.
So I was multitasking and
So
so on.
what were those plans? I think what
Yeah.
were the most important ones
Yeah.
that
Well-
you really say, wow, it could have been
Yeah.
really
Yes.
wonderful if we had it.
Yes, sir. Metro Plan. Metro
Metro
Manila Transport Land Use Development Planning Project. That's how the rulers of Dubai got to know about me, because
I
I was
see.
senior planner and team leader, World Bank funded project, and there were more than 20 foreign experts working with us. Land use transportation development planning project.
Yeah.
And in our conversation among the team, together with these international experts, with the do nothing scenario, that's 1976.
Okay.
I was 26 years old. We will have catastrophic traffic, flooding, not prepared for disasters, garbage collection, water crisis, energy crisis. We said that when?
Well, seems like pretty prescient.
1976.
It's
I was-
happening now.
Yeah. So it was like a prediction.
Yeah.
It's happening now. We said that. And then, so with the lighter transit, we were the ones who proposed it first. We should have completed, I think, 8 lines by 1992.
Okay.
It got interrupted by the change of government in 86. And then, Parañaque Spillway and Laguna Lake dredging.
Yes.
I brought it up after Ondoy, and President Gloria asked me to explain in Malacanang the flooding of Ondoy. And I told them there are many reasons for that. Our drainage system is undersized.
Right.
And primarily, the Parañaque Spillway was never done. The plan in 74-75 and confirmed by Metro Plan, they should have done together the Mangaan Floodway and Parañaque Spillway.
Okay.
Because the Mangaan Floodway diverted floodwaters from the mountains towards Laguna Lake
Okay.
to protect Metro Manila.
Okay.
But they did not know, they did not put the Parañaque Spillway. So I said that time, Laguna Lake is
So there's
like...
no catchment.
Yeah, there's catchment but it doesn't flow out. So I said
see.
that time, Laguna Lake is like a toilet without a flush.
Okay.
Or a big bathtub with 23 faucets, walang drain.
I see.
And
That's what's missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
A contract was signed with the Belgian contractors, but it by President
I think
Gloria.
that was it's a very reputable company. Number one or
from,
number two
yeah, Belgian.
in the world, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And unfortunately, succeeding administration canceled the contract.
Yeah.
So I say, without those, we'll probably have as bad, if not worse, flooding than Ondoy.
Wow.
Plus the sea level rise.
Right.
So if they don't want to do the Parañaque Spillway, because that's an open canal, my recommendation that time is smart tunnel. Just
Okay.
like what they did in Kuala Lumpur.
Okay.
A smart tunnel, a big tunnel with 3 levels.
Put it underground.
Yeah, the top level can be a roadway. The
Okay.
first 2 levels. Then the lowest level is a spillway.
Right.
When there are typhoons and flooding, the 3 levels can be a spillway.
I see.
I proposed that 2009. And Kuala Lumpur, they did it in six years.
Right.
Planning, designing, and implementing. So 2009, it could have been available by 2016.
Right.
So so many lost opportunities.
Well, are we on the right track now? Do you feel like we're in the right place now? I mean, after all, I mean, as you said, people are listening now to non-government experts like you. Do you feel like that we are in a good place now?
I think we're in a good place. We are being listened now. Architects, engineers, environmental planners, urban planners. And there's now Like in our firm, we are multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary. Architects, urban planners, environment planners, engineers, designers, project managers, economists and sociologists, business planners are part of our teams.
Sure.
And government is doing that.
Okay.
Orchestrated by R.C. Balikasan of NEDA, working very well in public works, transportation, the ICT.
Yeah.
And I compared our planning, that baby steps, if I may, because we look at the past year and previous
Incremental,
administration. Incremental. In Dubai, the rulers of Dubai would tell us the best in the world, how many years Dubai can surpass and find ways. They keep borrowing money to fast track their infrastructure.
How can that be done in the Philippines? Because as you said, the planners here seem to be very conservative. How do we urge them to do more? Because as you said, there's
Yeah.
a lot of potential.
Yes, sir. In fact, my colleagues in the environmental planning profession, I wish they are more open-minded.
Okay.
But the ones who have worked abroad are more open-minded.
Okay.
Like the more than US $3 trillion worth of minerals.
Right.
There are ways of bringing them out.
Yeah.
But there's so much opposition.
Yeah.
So responsible mining, just like what they do in Canada. You must have been to Vancouver, this
Yes.
Bushyard's Garden,
I haven't been there yet.
one of the most beautiful gardens in the world. It was a mining.
Oh, a mining
and
site.
Mining. So I've been proposing, don't just explore, but restore.
right.
Restore afterwards. Like these big diggings, they can be like artificial lake in the future.
Yeah.
And waterfront development, hotels, condominiums overlooking.
Yeah. Now your 2050 vision carries with it some I said warnings. Right, I should say that because you said that the Philippines will continue to grow in population, increasing our population density to very high numbers. If we don't do something, right?
Yeah, if you do nothing.
If we do nothing, right?
Another scenario.
So that's the consequence if we don't plan ahead. And as you said, if we don't do the leapfrogging and we do the incremental baby steps, as you said,
yes,
right?
sir. Leapfrogging their opportunities. The ICT,
Yeah.
information communication technology, artificial intelligence, like electronics, we're ahead. AI, electromobility, we put that in the Philippine Development Plan. All these manufacturing plants for fossil fuel vehicles, cars, they will become obsolete in 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe we can go ahead. Yeah. All these BPOs, call centers, they can be enlarged, expanded, so the 10 million Filipinos abroad, they can come home and do more jobs. Filipinos abroad are helping nation building,
Yeah.
and we could harness them
Yeah.
and never let a good crisis go away. Who said that? I think Churchill.
Okay.
The pandemic.
Never
Now
let it go
people
to
are
waste.
starting to go to the provinces.
Okay.
Plans also in the 70s, the national physical framework for Philippines. It's not just urban planning, but urban, regional, and national development. And we need 100 new cities
Yeah, I
by
remember that,
2050
too.
also.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the cities now will become as bad, if not worse, than Metro Manila
But are
today.
we? Do you see that happening now? Are the policymakers and those in government, are they starting on those things that you think are so
Yeah,
important?
they are aware. They are aware.
Okay.
But again, the private sector must be
Okay.
involved. Like we're involved in private sector led
Okay.
7 cities, if I include Clark
Okay.
as the model for
Yeah, I should say that I'm
our
on the-
program. You're in
I'm
the
on the
board of
Clark
Clark.
board, and,
thank you for approving it, sir. Finally.
But you were working with the Clark Airport Corporation long before I was. You did the master plan for
Yes, sir.
for the
Whole
airport.
Freeport.
Yes.
Also the whole
Yes.
Freeport. And
Quite interesting. Also, again, lots of greenery, lots
Yes,
of
sir.
interesting designs.
yeah. And the evolution of cities, port driven,
Yeah.
then railway driven,
Yeah.
and then highway driven. We
Okay.
used to be ahead.
Okay.
This century will be airport driven.
Okay.
Because airport, I call them, or airport seaports, I call them progressive infrastructure.
Okay.
They are the gateways. They are the business cards of a country.
Okay.
Before you become an investor, you must be a satisfied tourist.
Right.
So let's fix our airports. Airports are business cards.
Yeah.
And we did the redevelopment master plan for NAIA in 2004. Again, it was not implemented. The plan that time was update NAIA
Okay.
for the next 15 years capacity while waiting for Clark.
I see.
It was not done. Do nothing scenario again. So we
Right.
have all the problems. And then,
So missed opportunities
yeah,
again.
anecdotal research, 1 trillion pesos a year we lost on traffic in Metro Manila. And somebody told me also, aviation traffic, lost man hours, aviation fuel, 1 trillion pesos a year. That's why I can justify more airports.
Yeah.
Like even Clark and the New Manila International Airport by San Miguel,
Yeah.
they can complement.
Yeah.
Because one reason also, I think we've done more than 500 projects in my practice in Calabarzon. Central Luzon, very few.
Yeah.
And planning should be balanced.
Are there cities in the Philippines that you think are doing things right? Because we look at Metro Manila, traffic is back in pre-pandemic levels.
It's
You look
worse, they say.
It's probably worse. You look at Cebu, and Cebu is
Yeah.
complaining about the same things we're complaining about
sir.
here in Metro Manila. Are there LGUs there that are good models for the rest of the Philippines that
Yes, sir.
you've seen or
Yeah.
been working with?
I see a lot of potential in Metro Davao.
Davao.
There's more political will. Metro Manila, there are 17 political wills. Even when I was a student, our professor already saying we should have a governor in Metro Manila.
To
Like
rein all of those mayors
sir.
in. Okay.
The president of Indonesia used to be governor of Jakarta.
Yes, yeah.
And I had a couple of conversations with him already. He was a furniture maker suffering from red tape and corruption. So he ran for government and fixed the government. So we need metropolitan governance.
Are you running for government?
I'm not available, sir.
Okay, I'm just teasing you, architect. This is Business and Politics with Architect June Palafox. We'll be right back.
Did you know that water is the only drink that can quench your thirst? Drink Galilee Purified Drinking Water. Every bottle undergoes advanced scientific process to ensure a safe, clean, and pure bottle. So what are you waiting for? Drink Galilee Drinking Water. Every bottle is a labor of love.
Welcome back to Business and Politics. We're talking to Architect June Palafox. Sir, let me bring the discussion to architecture because that's your core competence. And I'm really curious about how that discipline is adapting because of, we have, of course, climate change as a major challenge. Right now, people in all over the Philippines are suffering from sweltering heat because of El Nino. Are there trends that we should be looking at that maybe can address these issues that make design and development sustainable and green?
Yeah, very good question, very timely too. If I may, before year 2000, I signed up in the American Institute of Architects that buildings that we design, communities we design, should be carbon neutral by 2030.
Okay.
And I could say I walk the talk.
Okay.
I give up projects that not doesn't address climate change
Okay.
and environment. And the projects we do, even the University of the Philippines, we're fortunate to have won 8 building projects nationwide.
Okay.
So even our other client, we tell them, even if you don't require us, we put green architecture, green building features retrofitable in the future
Okay.
when the funds are available. Rainwater harvesting, solar roofs, solar walls, and so on. And then on a larger scale, we're planning 15-minute cities, 10-minute communities, 5-minute neighborhoods. And I walk the talk. I used to live in a gated community.
Okay.
I moved to a condominium 800 meters from
From
our
your office? So you just walk to
8-minute
work?
walk. 8-minute
Wow.
walk.
Okay.
And if I may also, gated communities should not be in the cities.
Okay.
And
You've said that many times, even
Yeah.
in your postcards from the future.
sir.
Why is that? Why do they not belong
what we
in-
learned in the American Planning Association and American Architects and Urban Land Institute is that when you have a large single-family home in the middle of the
Okay.
city, you have a larger carbon footprint
I see.
because you're arrogating to yourself prime urban land resources,
I see.
preventing more families to live closer to their places of work,
Okay.
and encouraging more urban sprawl to encroach into the forest, into the
Okay.
farms. So if you have a big mansion, you go to the suburbs,
Okay.
not in the middle of the city.
I see.
In Manhattan, you don't see the Trumps, the Kennedys, the
Right,
Bloombergs,
right.
with the gated community
They're in
inside
Long
Manhattan.
Island somewhere,
Because
yeah.
Makati, Taguig, Mandaluyong, San Juan is like Manhattan now.
Right.
So you don't see single-family homes in the middle of Manhattan.
Right.
And they also causing traffic.
Right.
So back to architecture, we have 12 green advocacies in our office.
Okay.
Green urbanism, green architecture, green engineering, green transportation, green interiors, green furniture, green jobs.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll have green sustainable development. It's advocacy we input in all our projects. And if they don't follow us, we stay away from those projects.
Right.
And we have to educate also purchase decision makers
Okay.
because they look only at the initial cost.
Okay.
But
Does that
addressing-
mean it's still expensive? I mean, the being
Yeah.
green.
You know, you can recover it in, I think, 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
The energy savings, water savings, and so on.
Okay.
Operations and so on.
Okay.
So we really have to re-educate.
Okay.
Like shopping malls, we do a lot of them also.
Okay.
The common areas at least should be go green.
Okay. What does that mean when you say
Even the
green? What does that
like
exactly
electric bulbs, you start with that.
mean? Okay.
Then
LED.
Yeah, LED. And the buildings we design, as much practicable, natural light and ventilation.
I see. Okay.
Windows should be operable.
Okay.
So the cooler times of the and we orientation of the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
So we study that. We call
I
it
see.
microclimate and the different wind
I
directions.
see.
It changes.
Takes advantage of the natural
so
forces.
even if we
for the environment.
future architects, those are our guidelines. Like the new cities we're designing now, we do like a green building
I
code
see. I see.
over and above the building code.
I see.
And 3 times I've been invited already by
Okay.
the Senate aftermath of the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. I told them our building code, structural code, should be updated.
What about the materials used in construction? Because in the Philippines, we use a lot of concrete. But I see, for example, in Indonesia, they're doing a lot of these designs with, bamboo,
Yes.
fabulous designs that I've never seen
Yeah.
here. But is there a trend? Is that for that? Or is that even the right approach? Or is there a better one?
We have designed bamboo architecture many times.
Okay.
Even in Davao, especially.
Okay.
You could share that to YouTube or whatever. And research said the best building materials to address the virus, bamboo and copper.
Okay, because they're
The
naturally
virus-
antibacterial.
Antibacterial.
Yeah.
And as much practicable, local materials should be used.
Okay.
And even in getting LEED certification from the U.S. Green Building Council,
Okay.
500-mile radius.
Okay.
And then we have there, our advocacy also is agropolis, agro, the farm and the city. So the first we designed community in India, every house had a kitchen garden.
Wow. Okay.
So because from the farm to the table, average international 200 miles.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of carbon footprint just bringing the food to the table. So encourage urban farming, suburban farming, rooftop farming, vertical trellises for vegetables, and we put that in many of our architecture.
Wow.
Even green architecture for the urban poor.
Wow.
We've done that, like trellises. Instead of ornamental plants,
Right.
we put ampalaya or
Right.
instead of bougainvillea.
Edible gardens.
Edible gardens.
Are there any other materials or natural resources that could be used more? Because as you said, that's encouraged, right? Because a lot of Filipinos seem to have this I would say, colonial mentality.
Yeah.
They want Italian marble.
Yeah.
They want this imported thing and that. Are there materials here that you think should be or deserve more attention from designers and ordinary Filipinos?
Yeah, we have a lot. Like
Okay.
bamboo industry, we should encourage it.
Okay.
And engineered bamboo. Many of
Okay.
our building material bamboo now for finishes imported from China. We have a lot. And then we did the Leyte Ecological Industrial Zone in Leyte,
Okay.
where copper will be processed there.
Okay.
So we don't export raw copper.
Right.
It will be processed materials. There are a lot of potentials and so on. Like this one, I think about 2003 or something, marble from Bulacan.
Okay. From Bulacan.
The
Okay.
cathedral we made in Israel,
Okay.
marble from Bulacan.
Is that so?
Because the owner donated it for the Orthodox Church, which
I
we
see.
renovated, and the St. Peter's Church in Jaffa, Israel.
In Jaffa, okay.
Yeah. Marble from Bulacan, polished in Taiwan, exported to Israel.
Wow.
And the Greek Orthodox, they call the Archbishop Metropolitan, like the marble from Bulacan.
Wow.
Sometimes we still import marble from Brazil.
My ignorance is betraying me here because I didn't realize Bulacan had the marble quarry.
They have. And
Are there many of those hidden gems in the Philippines?
We have.
Yeah.
But maybe we should be more open-minded on responsible mining
Okay.
because it's we're already in the 21st century and
Right.
there's a lot of we can borrow the responsible mining they practice in Canada, Australia, UK,
Okay.
even Poland before. Yeah, a lot. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's how we plan Dubai.
Okay.
The rule of Dubai will tell, go around the world, copy and improve.
Right.
It's my first exposure to benchmarking.
Are there other trends that maybe Filipino architects and planners should be looking at?
Yeah, look at locally available materials
Okay.
and improve on them. And I think furniture makers now, thanks to the Cebuanos, they start,
yeah. Yeah.
they're ahead. And in fact, I said, Cebu could be like Milan, Center for Design, Fashion, Furniture. Well, the universities, there should be more design competitions. Like Philippine pavilions in World Expos, there should be a design competition. Not just appoint a designated architect.
Right. Right.
I think I could even do that to be designated, but I'd rather have a architectural design competition
Right.
before selecting one architect.
Right. Speaking of planning, there are many reclamation projects going on now here in Manila and elsewhere across the country. How do you view that? I mean, are you concerned as others are, or you think that they're doing it the responsible way, or what's your take on it?
Yeah, I was invited in most of them,
Okay.
but on record, Metro Plan, at that time we said there's so much vacant land in Metro Manila.
Okay.
So it was rather challenging to justify them. That was
Okay.
1976.
Okay.
And then when I went to Dubai, one of my first projects was a reclamation, Dubai Cornice. And I saw if you do it right, just like the way they do in Manhattan, in
Right.
Singapore, in Tokyo Bay, I don't have any objection to it. And address the environmental concerns, which can be addressed by design. So the ones in Manila Bay, I beg off because on record, I was against it when I was 26 years old.
I see.
But I'm more open to it now,
Okay.
provided they address the environmental concerns and
Right.
so on, and address also sea level rise
Okay.
with storm surge, tsunamis. This reclamation could be the wave barriers,
Okay.
and they should be built higher than the sea level rise.
I see.
The projects we're doing now on seafronts, we raise them 4 to 5 meters, also in the building code.
I see.
Like in San Vicente, Palawan, we made it more restrictive. 50-meter setback from the high water mark. Every building, bedrooms should not be below 4 meters because with a storm surge, 4 meters high.
Okay.
I said that also after Yolanda in Tacloban.
I see.
There's a building code, no livable spaces below 8 meters in that area with the storm surge in Yolanda.
Does it concern you that, with flooding a concern, that they're taking that into consideration, that they're making the appropriate designs to prevent that? What's your view?
Yeah, it can be.
I know you're not involved, but just looking
Yeah.
at.
Yeah. My preference is it's not attached to the mainland.
I see.
Make it like Palm
I
Islands in
see.
Dubai.
I see.
So the water channel is still there, also for the fishermen. Don't block the fishermen.
I see.
And Manila Bay is, Port of Manila is a concern also.
Right.
And they will be putting bridges between islands.
Right.
Make sure the vertical clearance,
It's very high.
cruise ships can pass through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's very interesting. We just have to take another quick break, Architect June. This is Business and Politics. We'll be right back.
Did you know that water is the only drink that can quench your thirst? Drink Galilee purified drinking water. Every bottle undergoes advanced scientific process to ensure safe, clean, and pure bottle. So what are you waiting for? Drink Galilee drinking water. Every bottle is a labor of love.
Welcome back to Business and Politics. We're talking to Architect June Palafox. Sir, let's talk about your profession. I mean, how is it faring these days? There's a lot of changes and disruption going on in many sectors. I'm wondering how it is affecting yours, especially with the advent of AI. Are you worried? Are you optimistic about the future of architecture?
There will be a lot of changes in the next 5 years
Okay.
because they say AI robots will even be more intelligent than humans. What I say is that even experts say it, humans will be replaced by humans with AI.
Okay.
So, not AI replacing, and we're using it in our office. So we do a design, a plan for, just like even the clerk.
Right.
We did what we did as planners, architects, and
We're talking about that. It's not what you submitted, but you, I think, had just for fun. Is that correct? You had AI do the
it.
same, yeah.
And what AI did is not as good as what we did.
Okay.
What he did was it removed the runways.
Okay.
And it made like helipads.
Okay.
Maybe 100 years from now, airplanes will be vertical landing. Then another project we have, another airport in Bulacan, we gave the same design criteria, our expectations, and higher capacity vehicles, priority walking, biking. They made a train in the middle of the street 5 stories high. Maybe 100 years from now, we'll have trains 5 stories high.
Right.
And the buildings, they remove the terraces, the garden, and the cars will put on the sidewalk. That's AI. So I said at Palafox, we have an integral ecology of people first or social equity, job creation, poverty alleviation, then planet Earth and environment, then prosperity, profit, economic goals. I think AI can help there.
Okay.
But AI cannot help us in the culture, history, heritage,
Okay.
and interfaith spirituality.
Okay.
So you still
That's
have
a human factor.
Yeah, you still need the human intelligence, the the moral values and good conduct, good ethics.
So to rephrase it, you're not worried that AI will replace architects and urban planners in the future?
Yeah, we're preparing for it, and we're buying AI like cloud computing and
Right.
so on.
Right.
And
You're harnessing it.
we have more computer programs than number of people.
I see. Wow.
Of course, there's a danger that we have 1,000 Palafox alumni now working all over the world.
I was going to ask about that. The outsourcing sector. Are there opportunities there that architectural services will be outsourced to Filipino designers? Is that already happening, or is that a possibility?
Yes, sir. We're doing that, but not also, sir, but we collaborate.
I see.
So our name is there also together with the
I
foreign
see.
architects. But like BPOs, I think we can, the creative professions.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know how, for example, auditing firms have these international cooperations, like SGV with Ernst & Young and
Yeah.
etc. Is that also happening with architecture?
I think it's
architects
happening
around the world?
I think smaller firms, they're doing that, but it can be enhanced and enlarged like BPO industry.
Okay.
The creative professions.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. Are there dangers of architect shortage because maybe the good ones are pirated abroad? You were talking about your alumni; they're all
Yeah.
over the world.
They're still working with us.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the time differences.
I see.
And not officially working, but they share with us that they latest technology.
Okay.
And sometimes they are like a third eye or be the constructive critics on
I
what we're
see.
doing.
I
And they
see.
do it freely,
Right.
paying back what they learn from us.
I see.
And we don't just train good followers, we also train good leaders.
Yeah. How do
future.
our architects fare compared to architects elsewhere in Asia? I mean, you've worked with, many different countries and many other governments. How do we fare compared to the others? Are we doing better? Are we about the same? Or
I think we should improve our architectural education,
okay,
even board exams.
okay,
During our time, one day is just design. Use
I
only
see.
pencil.
okay,
Now is multiple choice.
okay.
Yeah, you don't design anymore. Multiple choice.
Now, for someone who's not an architect, what's the consequence of that?
It's over dependence now on the computer,
I see.
and there are young architects who cannot draw.
I see.
Yeah, and in our office we do still both, the manual and the
Okay.
computer. The
Okay.
computer enhances it.
Right.
And transportation planning, traffic engineering is very useful.
Okay.
Because before, like transportation plan, traffic engineering, you could do 3 to 5 alternatives. Now with AI and computer, you can have hundreds of logarithms.
Okay.
Then you choose.
Right.
So it really make it faster. Maybe our work with AI and technology, it reduced our timeline by 30%.
But do you think maybe they're also seeing something, as you said, we're talking about Clark earlier,
Yeah.
that when you asked your AI to design the Clark Airport, that it didn't have any runways in its design, only landing pads.
Landing pads.
Do you think maybe AI is a better predictor of what the future may look like? I mean, who knows,
Yeah.
right? What do you think?
Yeah, maybe too far in the future.
Okay.
Too far, maybe 500
Yeah, way
years from-
beyond 2050?
Like I had a presentation talk yesterday at the AI Summit.
Okay.
We asked AI to do my speech.
Okay.
And the
How did it go?
agenda, it was too focused on me.
Okay.
Maybe he looked at my biodata.
Oh, okay.
So we have to remove my too focus on me, project more on projects with AI, technology, and so on.
So you're not worried, because people in my field were worried because they're talking about artificial newscasters now, or newscasters developed by AI. So who knows who will be doing the interview in the future? But you're not worried that?
Yeah, I think you will be editing them better.
Okay.
Like you can ask AI, may I have a commencement speech
Okay.
a la Robert Frost?
Okay.
you decide Robert Frost, but
Right.
you can still inject your own style.
Right. Now you're talking about education a while ago. Or,
Yeah.
You said so. Do you need some reforms in the exam?
Education.
But what else?
Even education, because when we
Okay.
were students of architecture, our professors were practicing architects
I see.
based in Makati.
I see.
Because that time, UST or Diliman,
Okay.
We're 15 minutes only from Makati.
I see. No traffic.
So many of the professors now are very, not so much in practice, more in theory.
I see.
If I may share that, because I've been sharing in my talks with, and more practical. In fact, of course, we have thousands of applicants to be interns. We cannot accommodate all of them. But there's more interest now even in second-year college. They want to be interns. And we also have some parents that call me, can you accommodate them? You don't have to pay them. But of course, just to learn
Just
from
to
us.
expose them,
And
yeah.
we have had foreign interns already also.
I see.
From the UK, from Germany, from Italy, from Yale, from MIT, from Harvard, from Malaysia,
Wow.
Korea, India.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
they come to us, and of course we preference to Filipinos.
Right. Right.
And I ask them, why us? We're a small firm in a
Yeah.
developing country. And the students tell me it's their deans advising them to work with us.
I see.
Because if they go to the big firms in the US or Europe, they might stick to one specialization.
Right.
You are in the toilet division,
Right.
kitchen division.
Right.
But in our office, even young ones can talk to big clients.
So do everything. And
Yeah.
So what else needs to be done? Because the government now is looking at the educational system, right? But with regard to architecture, there's a lot of hopes for the creative industry. What should they consider
Yeah.
to make sure that we keep
Yeah.
on producing good
Yeah.
planners, good architects, good designers? What should they be looking
Even, sir, like ladder rise.
at? Okay,
Like, they're architects doing drafting work.
okay,
Maybe a 2-year course on drafting,
I
a
see.
2-year course on encoding,
Okay,
2-year course on the repetitive work.
okay,
So the architects are more focused on the more creative side.
I see.
So 2 years, and 5 years.
I see.
Yeah. And even many of my fellow graduates in 1972, because they migrated Canada, US, they were asked to study 2 years more. I was not required because I have a postgraduate in Harvard.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And other opportunities you think for Filipino creatives abroad? I mean, because the world is becoming smaller and
Yeah.
smaller these days, and of course, Filipino talent is well known. We don't hear about it in the past. Apparently, this
Yeah.
been going on. But what's the future prospects? For
Our alumni are volunteering to be still part of our company.
that? Okay.
Like my daughter Karima.
Okay.
She's an urban planner educated in Oxford Brooks.
Okay.
She's now based in Sydney.
Oh wow.
She was to be managing director of our office. She works 20 hours with us per week.
Wow.
So we have different perspectives. Because she has project also in Sydney. And she preferred to be based in Sydney, but still with us almost every day. But sir, Dad, no more than 20 hours a week.
Well, do you share that optimism about the whole creative industry? I mean, can it really deliver? Because in the past, government looked at hard industries like steel,
Yes, sir.
manufacturing, but now we're looking at
Yes, sir.
art, perform,
AI,
design,
creative,
and a
yes.
lot of
There's a lot of
seemingly
potential.
soft skills,
Yeah,
but
yes, sir.
they can be lucrative.
Yeah.
What's your thought?
Yeah, it can be. Training is very important. Maybe once now you can learn. There are lessons being given through virtual lessons from Harvard, MIT, and many universities in the world. And maybe I think it's also restricting foreign universities. More tie-up universities with universities in the US and Europe. They do that in the United Arab Emirates. Like you study in Oxford, you go to UAE. You study in Harvard or MIT, you go to UAE. They have that. But I think our laws restrict it. Maybe if you have a school tie up, your medical school tie up with Harvard Medical.
Yeah.
Maybe the architectural schools can tie up with Harvard Graduate School of Design, my alma mater.
Yeah.
And I go back there every time there's a crisis
Yeah.
to unlearn the mistakes of the past. And one thing about that, the other nationalities, they share their mistakes and learn from it. In our part of the world, people hide the mistakes.
Oh, you save face, right?
Yeah, save face.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, they show you their mistakes.
Yeah.
And everybody, and even my staffers, I tell them, after the project, of course we don't, how we could have done it better.
Okay.
Because sometimes we do 5 alternative designs.
Okay.
But the client choose not what we prefer, maybe cost considerations.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I tell me, in fact, the visionary planner of Makati, Colonel Joseph R. McMaking. He was really the visionary for Makati. I saw him in hospital bed in San Francisco. You know what he told me? Listen, young man, if I give you a big eraser, how would you have done Makati better than we did?
Okay.
That's like an assignment. So I still have what's wrong with Makati.
Okay. Well, where do we start? But anyway, I think that might be another episode for Business and Politics. Well, Architect June, thank you very much
thank
for
you,
your
sir.
time. It's really enjoyable to talk to you. But before we go, maybe you'd like to leave our guests with some final thoughts?
Yes, our country is. I had the opportunity to change my passport 4 countries.
Okay.
I've been invited. But to me, we're so blessed. We are more blessed, and our blessings are more than our challenges.
Okay.
We know the solutions, we know the problems, we know the solutions better than foreign experts. But again,
Sometimes you
should
don't
be-
listen.
yeah, I think we should work together for the betterment of the greater good. And let's address also, like we have advocacies. We don't do just to practice architecture for business, commerce, and government. We have practiced architectural activism, architecture for the urban poor, architecture for infrastructure, philanthropic architecture, patriotic architecture. And I call this, I think 20%, 30% of our work is our advocacies. Like we discussed not just architecture, but the political environment. And one of my 8 courses in Harvard was the art of leadership. And our professors were architects, top architects in the world. They taught us about art of leadership, and they say the architects will be the leader, not just let's get out of our architectural box. And I tell my colleagues that's our psychic income, patriotic income, spiritual income.
Very well said. Architect June, again, thank you very much. I'd like to thank our viewers also watching this program live and those watching the replay. I'd like to thank Pastor Apollo Kibuloy for making this program possible. This has been Business and Politics, and I will see you next week. Thank you very much.
Very interesting, sir.
Pag nakakakita ko ng salapi, nakikita ko ang isang biyaya na nararapat gamitin at palaguin.